To all those above me that watch over me, to all of you, my fave parapeeps on this side of the veil, welcome. This is Reverend Sean Whittington's Paranormal Ministry. I'm your host, Reverend Sean, the Rev. Welcome to my haunted house, my very haunted house. Been quiet up to now, been talking to my guest and my producer in the green room, and it's been quiet, but I suspect with today's guest and some of the topics we may discuss, it might get a little lively in here, so keep your eyes peeled. Good to be back. Took last week off because everybody went to a big paranormal conference and convention, and I heard it was a huge success. Wish I could have went, but I couldn't. So it is what it is. I don't travel well, but I'm going to do my very best to make the next one. What do I want to tell you guys? This is an interesting day. Well, for one, it's October 1st, 2021, a Friday, the kickoff of the Halloween season, and I couldn't think of a better guest to have on than today's guest to help me kick off my Halloween series this month. But it's an international day of a lot of things. One, it is World Smile Day. So let me give you one of those. It is International Coffee Day. Got my cup of coffee and my throwback ghostbegone.biz mug, which you can get on the website. It is World Vegetarian Day. I am not a card-carrying member of that club, although I should be. I understand my guest is a diehard vegan. We may talk a little bit about that. So God bless all you vegetarians out there. It is Older People's Day. That's a no-brainer for me. I'm an old person, so it's a special day for me too. Now, something a little more sad. It is also the 4-year anniversary of 1 October, the mass shooting here in Las Vegas during a country western concert down on the Strip, right across the street from the Mandalay Bay where the shooter was held up in a room there. Very sad day, but as the years pass, we don't forget. We continue to pray for all of them. I'm going to talk to my guest a little bit later about something I encountered with spirit down at that location a little bit later. But that, 60 dead, I believe, right now at last count, well over 500 people injured. So I don't need to look into the prayer earned today. I'm going to light a big candle for all of the souls that still may remain at that location. That will burn until it's done burning. And every time I look at that candle, I will remember 1 October. I'm going to say a couple of quick prayers here for that. If you'd like to add some positive vibe and love and light to the lost souls, God bless them, if there are any there, of the 1 October tragedy, reach out, touch your computer screen, close your eyes, bow your head. If you would like to receive any of that love and light too, that's a great way to do that. So let's begin. Name of the Father, and of the Son, and of the Holy Spirit. Amen. Holy archangels Gabriel, Michael, and Raphael, heavenly commanders who watch over us with great care, cover us with your wings and shield us with your power. God alone can make new what has been shattered, inviting each to a life-giving repentance through the authority of the church, which brings us back onto the path. Amen. Okay. If there's anything you want to know about my wife and I and our ministry work, go to our website, www.ghost-b-gone.biz. Keep in mind that my wife and I don't charge for our ministry work helping people with their paranormal issues. So if you go there, I know times are tough, but if you notice the donate button and you're able to do so, click on it, send in a small donation. I promise you it'll be appreciated from the bottom of our hearts, and I assure you we will put it to good use. I am also a certified spiritual advisor, intuitive coach, in addition to being an ordained exorcist. So if you're having some issues of a spiritual nature, not necessarily attached to the paranormal, and you would like to speak to the Rev about those issues, there's a place on the website to make an appointment to speak with me. But don't leave the website without navigating back over to the page called the WSE course/book. And on that page, you'll find the ghost store. I challenge you to find something in there you won't think is extremely cool and want to purchase. But if you don't go for that sort of stuff, scroll down. Let me see if I have a copy of it here. God, I'm having a hard time keeping copies of this in the house here. You'll find my new haunted autobiography, God, Ghosts, and the Paranormal Ministry. And I quote, the scariest book I ever published. That was Annette Munich, owner of Stellium Books, my publisher. But please don't let that scare you away from purchasing a copy. If you haven't done your good deed for the day yet, pick up a copy because the proceeds of every sale of every copy of my book goes to support stjude.org and St. Jude's Children's Research Hospital in Nevada. That is a beautiful thing. And I just recently added a new charity. I've been in the animal care industry most of my adult life, so I added the ASPCA to that. That was a no brainer. So you get to help the animals too. You can purchase the book there at the website. It comes autographed and enclosed in a house blessing kit, or you can get it a little less expensive at Amazon. But scroll a little further down and you'll see the Worldwide Society of Exorcists, which I am a founding member. I offer a 12-week online college level course, Introduction to Spiritual Warfare, through the WSE. And if you are one of those individuals that feels a calling to want to be a warrior for Christ and have the knowledge needed to draw your line in the sand, make a stand, circle the wagons, put up a good fight against, God forbid, true evil if it ever comes calling, that's the course for you. All of my students that graduate get a stunning diploma along with some very special blessed items that you can only get from yours truly, the Rev. So you can enroll in the course there at the website. But if you want to know more about the course, you can reach out to me or go to the Worldwide Society of Exorcists Facebook page and read a little bit more about the course. Please keep all of my former, current, and future students in your prayers. Okay? I'm excited to introduce this gentleman to you today. He's a cool cat, and we have a lot in common, and that will come out during this interview too. Um, author, critically acclaimed author, elite parahunter, paranormal investigator, psychic, healer. That's very cool. Brothers and sisters, please welcome to the show the one and only Devin Listrom. Devin, are you with us, brother?
Yeah, I'm right here.
Devin, you look awesome, brother. How you feeling today?
Oh, feeling excited. Yeah, I'm looking forward to this.
I've been looking forward to meeting you too. You come highly, I hate to say highly recommended, but I remember reaching out to, no, I think actually she reached out to me, Margie K,
Yeah,
and said, I know this gentleman, and talking with him, I thought about you, and you just have to have him on your show. And so she sent me your information, and I said, oh my gosh, this is a very interesting gentleman, and he's just tailor made for this show, for both of my shows, that is, but for today. So I'm glad to have you here, brother. I want you to have fun because I'm going to want you to come back. An hour's not long enough. So just relax, have fun, man. It's just you
yeah,
and me
yeah,
having a paranormal chat with a bunch of people that we don't have a clue who they are, eavesdropping. So it is what it is. What do I want to ask you today? You, that's what we have in common. You know, let's start with healer.
Yeah.
I've been called a healer, but it's not a healing like you. I've never taken Reiki. I may lay hands on people during different types of intense spiritual situations where I'm praying or laying blessings or laying hands on, but it's not the same way you do. Tell me a little bit about your Reiki training, and because I have someone right around the corner just opened up a beautiful shop. I've been in there to buy stuff. She begs me every time I come in there to come in and get my chakra realigned, go through a Reiki session with her. I don't know why I haven't yet. Um, Sell that to me why I should do that.
Well, for one, Reiki is awesome. Uh, when I first got the calling to study Reiki, um, I was noticing it at massage school. People were talking about Reiki, and I took an introduction workshop. And after I found a teacher at one of our metaphysical stores at a meetup they had, and she and I started talking. I started meeting up at her house with her, and I spent the first probably a couple of years studying the first 3 degrees, and called Usui is what I learned. And I'll tell you, when I got the first degree attunement done, it's when you're passed over this healing power. And Reiki is basically an energy that's already in the environment. It's in the universe. You don't create it. It's already there. You become like an instrument for it to move through you to whatever it is you're applying it to, a person, an animal, a space, yourself, whatever you're doing it with. And when I got my attunement, I felt like I had like a psychic cold for a while. You got the sniffles and you're kind of tired, but it only lasts for a few days. And then the second degree, you learn the symbols. That attunement was more of it was more emotional during that attunement. I felt like my emotions were kind of being raised. My vibrations were being raised internally. Third degree, I had a different teacher. He taught me how to do all the third degree work. And I started asking people ask more people, let me practice on you, let me practice on you, let me practice on you, And some people were kind of resistant it though, because they didn't know what it was. I said, it's not massage therapy, it's more like spiritual massage, kind of like. And when I was at work one day, I do chair massage in corporate offices, by the way.
Well, that's cool.
And yeah, and help people get through the day. And this one lady and I started talking about Reiki. She didn't know what it was, but she knew the word. And I said, how would you like to have a 5-minute treatment for the last bit of the time you're here? And so she said, that sounds fine. So I got her permission. Always get their permission first. And then the thing she said afterwards, she got up from the massage chair and said, oh my God, I felt a current move down my arm. When she got up, she felt it just buzzing down her arm like that, just all the way down to her fingertips. And she knew right then and there what I was doing was very real. And I've been telling that story for a while now. I think it's just great. But the also awesome part about Reiki is when you're doing a treatment is that you get the treatment too, as well as your person or whatever you're applying the energy to, because you get to feel it as well. So that's one of the wonders about it. One of the great things.
Does a person have to be in your bubble, in your space near you, for you to be able to touch, or can you do? Were you the one that I read somewhere can do Reiki or healing by distance?
Yeah, you can do Reiki. So that's the thing. That's one of the other beauties about it, is that it's a hands-off, hands-on. It's not like massage therapy. You're actually working on the physical body. I can send Reiki. See, I have a friend that lives about almost an hour from me. We got together on Facebook video, and I sent her Reiki from here all the way to her house in Paola, Kansas.
Wow.
And she felt it purely. She felt it completely. And I knew that Reiki could be done long distance. You can send it anywhere, anywhere. You can, even when you have someone in the room with you, you can do it hands on, hands off, whatever they want. Some people may not want you to touch them, and that's perfectly fine. I did a Reiki session on someone in a hospital bed one time, and I thought, and they said, "Well, do we have to do anything special?" I said, "Nope, don't even move her. Just leave her where she is." I just moved around the bed, but I did a hospital bed and just did Reiki on her for about 45 minutes, and she absolutely loved it.
That's incredible. I find that, and I do. That's something that jumped out at me. Some of the phrases that you said, like vibration, all that stuff, permission. A lot of people pass by that. It's like I have friends of friends constantly reaching out to me. I have this friend whose daughter, or this friend whose son, or this friend who has a friend who's having some issues with spirit.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe maybe something malevolent or demonic's involved. Will you reach out to them? And they hand me a number, and I tell them no. I say part of the process is they have to reach out for the help. They have to accept it. They have to give themselves permission to reach out for help, and then give me permission to help. And you'd be surprised how many people I don't hear from after I do that. And I give, all the information I need to give to somebody for someone to reach out to me. But I say, tell them that that's part of the process. They need to reach out to me. It probably has a lot to do with I got tired over many years of constantly hearing, "Hey, pal, I didn't call you." Because everybody thinks you're going to show up and wave a magic wand and make everything better,
I know.
and that just doesn't happen.
I know. Yeah.
Um, and so if that was always something that bothered me, because I'm trying to help. I reach out, uh, trying to put all my heart and soul into it, wanting to help, and then to have, well, you called me. I didn't call you. That used to bother me so bad, and so now that I don't have to worry about hearing that anymore because I don't call first. And the
Oh
people
yeah.
that do actually go ahead and make the effort, uh, that is seems like such a big giant step of positivity in the right direction for me to just all of a sudden I can already at the end of that dark tunnel I can see the closure and what I need to do to bring closure
Mm-hmm.
and turn the situation around. So very, very interesting. I'll give it some thought. um Vibration's big for me. It's like sometimes I go and I bless and cleanse these homes, and people will get a little weirded out when they see me, like, rubbing my hands together and, sticking them in corners and right into the air.
Right.
Um, do a lot of clapping, a lot of humming, ringing bells, because you're all of that vibration that comes from all the different sounds raises the vibrational level because most of these I deal with a lot of malevolent stuff, and it's all very lower vibrational
Mm-hmm.
type stuff. So if you can raise that, and I'm sure you're well aware of all this being a psychic, if I can just raise that I call it the vibrational playing field up a little bit, I seem to get the upper hand and spiritually a little more power there in that situation. But who knows? Your phone may ring, and it may be me saying, you know what? Let's try this. Let's try this Reiki from distance,
Right.
because that's another thing we have in common. I think why that jumped out at me. I had never I'd never heard that term before, Reiki by distance, and there's something that my exorcist network practices called exorcism by distance, where if there's definitely going to be an exorcism that's going to take place, I send out a mass email throughout the whole network
Mm-hmm.
and I ask for everybody. I give them the name of the person, their address, the exact day and exact time that I'm going to be there performing the rites. And I ask them all at that time, unless, you know, anything that they can do to not be busy and to drop into deep meditative prayer at that time for positive closure to occur during that incident that I'm going through. And once we started doing that, we found the situations just turned around so much easier because I'm a big believer in the power of prayer. And so it's all uh, people are just take the spiritual world, unless they're people that are close to you and I and know us and are also in our field. So many people don't underestimate the power of the spiritual world. So I congratulate you on that. I love the story about going in the hospital. You need to do that more. People are in so need of that because you know how hospitals seem so cold and sterile, and they mean well and they're taking care of you and all that. Some doctors have a great bedside manner, some not so much. Most nurses are great, but still the environment is so cold and sterile. That would be, of course, the medical field doesn't like what you and I do. But that is so needed, man. Uh, is there any way you see being able to reach out more to the medical field and do in hospital Reiki stuff like that, or do you think you would encounter just a brick wall?
Well, I think I would get some response. I don't think they're all closed off, but I think it would be a challenge to get in. I'd have to probably work through layers of people to get to the right person that can get me in the door.
I will say a prayer for you that something like that comes down your path because I believe that would be a beautiful thing for you to be able to
It
do for a
would,
lot of, yeah, very even
yeah,
these, I know with COVID now and all that, it's scary stuff, but anything, any help spiritually sometimes when it seems like all is lost,
yeah.
is very needed these days. The last couple of years of my parents' lives, they spent some time in uh, uh, care facilities, and I used to go in there and visit, and sometimes have my collar on, or my Ghost Be Gone hat on, or a Ghost Be Gone jacket or a hoodie, and I would get people coming up to me. They were paranoid to talk to me. They didn't want anybody else on the staff seeing them talk to me, but they'd come up and say, "Listen, you need to come here sometime in the middle of the night and investigate this place because this place is very haunted and there's people here that they think are crazy that I'm telling you, in my humble opinion, they're not crazy, they're possessed." And
Oh, yeah.
I've talked to some, people that run those places. They're not going to let you come in and do anything like that in the middle of the night. So I got this crazy wild idea that I would sign myself into one of those facilities. Um, Most people very close to me that love me didn't like the idea, especially my wife. Um, that it was just too dicey, and you never know what might happen once you're in there, and you may not get out. But I thought, what a great story that would make to uh, commit yourself. Maybe you can sign some type of contract where in a month you get let out regardless. But commit yourself, get in there, and then try to perform some magic. But that hasn't happened yet. So let's talk about. I know that your book. I'm an old school visual kind of guy. Like if a book looks not very interesting, I know it's terrible, but I might not pick it up. Your book is wonderful. It looks, I mean, it's so eye catching. I hear phenomenal things about it. Talk to me. I know you're a psychic. I know you're a paranormal investigator. You do see, it's wonderful. You do a lot of paranormal investigating and helping people with their spiritual issues in your hometown there. Tell me about the book, the inspiration for it, what people will get out of purchasing it, and tell everybody a little bit about your background with the paranormal and how it came to be you write the book and all of that.
Well, I'll tell you, I'll start off with when I started writing it. I was I told my mom, I said, all these things that have happened, I need to journal it somewhere. Just have it down somewhere. And I was working for one of the haunted houses here as an actor, and I had some time to kill, so I started writing a journal. I'm sitting there writing a journal. This went on for a little while, and I think I got down one full good sized paragraph, and all of a sudden the writing form just completely changed. And I looked, and I started looking back. And I went like, oh yeah, hello, turn it into a book. And I told my mom this, and she's like, oh yeah, why not? So um, I started really working on it really hard. I had to go really dig in my memory, and things started happening when I was about 5 years old, and my sister and I used to share a room, and she finally got a room of her own, and that's when they really started working on me. I started seeing the shadow figure. I started getting touched, hearing voices. All those things were going on, and I will say early on in the book, it talks about this black. I guess you'd call it a figure, like a black figure. I don't know how exactly what to call it, but it was in my window quite a bit, and then it was at my doorway of my bedroom. And I'm 5 years old. And I look up and I see this thing. Scared me half to death, and it was really late at night during a thunderstorm, and that made it worse. And uh, I didn't really tell anybody about it until years and years later. But the inspiration was to teach people that they're not alone in this. You're having paranormal experiences and you don't know who to tell it to. Um, I'm an example here of what I've been going through. That there's a lot of people out there who are having these experiences and don't know who to tell it to. They feel like they're kind of alone. So or if you're discovering you have psychic abilities, and you become a magnet sometimes. Uh, you're not alone in this at all. There's lots of people that go through this. Today, they have, I think, lots of shows that help people with their abilities. I know one of them was called Psychic Kids that I really, really liked. Uh, and then as I kept writing the book, the experiences kept happening. I had to write updated experiences as well. And I'd say one of the things that Marge and I were working on, my publisher, was there was a picture I wanted to really put in the book we couldn't use because it was all going to be in black and white. So what was there you couldn't see in black and white. I was with a team back in 2014. We're at an old gymnasium in Sugar Creek, very haunted place, and I walked in, and it was quite warm. It was June, I think, and I had on a pair of shorts. And I had my camera in my hand, and I walked in, and I'm standing like next to nothing. I'm standing next to nothing, and they're still setting up the equipment. All of a sudden, this big burning sensation goes down my calf muscle, and it burned, and it looked like a thumbnail or a file going down like that, and you could see it. It was really painful, and I knew something had scratched me that night. A spirit had a scratch, like a human spirit, who probably just didn't like me for some reason, maybe a past life thing.
Yeah.
and uh, from there, my camera broke. It just stopped working. It just completely broke internally, and I couldn't figure that out either. So I was going to take pictures, and I got this feeling something here doesn't like me, doesn't want me here, and doesn't want me taking pictures. And scratches me on the leg, on the calf muscle. And so I was a little bit freaked for a little while, And I think a few nights later, I had a dream being warned, not, this is in the book too, not to come back to that investigation. So I didn't go back to that investigation because it was like I was standing in front of the building by myself, and there was like these black clouds coming down over me, and I was being warned, don't come back to this investigation.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's
I
crazy.
I got a threatening EVP too on there that said something about hitting me or knocking me over or something like that on the EVP recorder. And so I was kind of freaked. I didn't go back to that case.
Well, I don't blame you. And what's the good thing about that is you're just at a location. Um, Sometimes, and it's okay to walk away from situations like that
Mm-hmm.
if you don't feel it's necessary that you confront these things.
Mm-hmm.
But if it's like, for instance, if it's somebody's home and they're asking you for help because their family's under attack, you seem to have a whole different agenda.
You.
And meaning behind why you need to fight beyond those parlor tricks. Yeah, the physical stuff already always freaks me out. I got bit in my hand once. It felt like something bit me because it sounded like a dog running around in the house, and everybody that I was with, they could all hear whatever this was. And then something bit me, and my hand, like that fast, blew up like you were blowing up a surgical glove,
Mm-hmm.
and my hand has never been the same. And even to this day, sometimes, like I've got an extremely weird front yard and backyard, but still to this day, every once in a while, come home, unlock the security screen, unlock the front door. When my hand reaches for the doorknob to turn it to go in, something something bites my hand again from out there. So
Mm.
I'm always out in the front yard smudging and doing that. And speaking of Margie, and I remember now it was Margie that remote viewed my home and said, "Yeah, your front yard is got a lot going on there." But let me ask you this: you
Mm-hmm.
definitely, that's another thing you and I have in common. I can't believe I wrote a book. I'm never gonna say I'm never gonna ever write another one because there was so much I left out of that book. You probably felt the same way. I didn't want my book to look like War and Peace on the shelf and have people go, I'm not gonna read that. Too much. So there's a lot I left out. I may write another one, but just like you, man, it was like I started just very journal like. My wife bought me some white paper, notepads, started doing like a journal. And what I found was miraculously, spirit
Mm-hmm.
just took over, dude. Just took over.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't go into trance or feel like, I got, a spirit hitchhiked into my body and took me over, but definitely something miraculously on a spiritual level was happening to me, guiding me through writing that book. Or I firmly believe I would have never got it done. And I think that's exactly what was happening to you. It was meant to be. And so now here, let me throw this question at you. I saw where I believe reading your bio, you had mentioned when you give people a psychic reading, you allow their spirit guides to come through
Yes.
and talk to you. So
Yes.
now, what do you believe was behind helping you write the book? Were they guardian angels, spirit guides? Did you actually sense contact from a particular, like maybe a variety of spirits that you have encountered while you were writing about these stories that just jumped in to help you? Or what do you feel happened during that experience?
I think it was definitely spirit guides, uh, kind of shifting my writing form and my consciousness, because I felt like something was there, sitting there with me, not in me, but just kind of around me, and just saying, okay, okay, you're not, this is what you're going to do instead. And it just took on a whole different feeling, a whole different form. So I do feel like something was there, a guide for sure.
Let me ask you this so we can check off the boxes.
Mm-hmm.
Ghosts. Do you believe in ghosts? I know that's a silly question.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Um, When you say spirit guide, what do you, first of all, what is your, when I throw the word ghost at you, you'd be surprised how many different answers I get from people when I ask them, well, if you believe in them, what do you think they are? In your honest, humble opinion, what do you believe ghosts are? And when you refer to spirit guides, uh, what do you believe those are?
I believe a spirit guide could be angel, could be maybe an ancestor, because my grandmother still comes around, uh, and or it could be a deity, um, depending on what your religious path is, and or uh, something along those lines. I felt like it was more of a possibly like an angel, probably. He's
Very,
kind of
very
came
cool.
down and shifted things because I talk a lot. I spend a lot of time with Archangel. What's his name? Archangel Michael. And one day I was going to do card readings at the paranormal conference a few years back, and I kept saying, "Okay, what deck am I going to use today? Which angel am I going to use?" I kept being pulled to Archangel Michael for like the entire day before the event. And I was going through all my cards. I went, "Oh, I have a deck of Archangel Michael cards. They're all Archangel Michael cards, the whole deck." So I was going by that for the day with the readings, and everybody kept telling me, he's been coming through my mind lately, telling me this and telling me that. And I thought, well, I was told to bring the same deck and do and talk to people through Archangel Michael. So I thought it was an interesting situation there. But yeah, I did feel like that was an angel or an Archangel Michael guiding me to write the book. Like I just felt this shift, energetic shift around me, and it was within me and mentally, spiritually, and the whole thing just took a whole different shape.
I am ashamed that I should know this. I should. I'm ashamed that I don't know for a fact which archangel does this. There is an archangel that helps writers,
Okay.
and I know after the show I'm going to look it up and then find out who that is. But I think I'm going to have to draw on that archangel's assistance
Mm-hmm.
if I decide to write my second book. You got a wonderful website. The book is called. I know everybody's probably asking, why didn't get it? Hold it up again for me if you could.
Oh, the book cover?
The Doorway to Spirit. Great looking book. Great title. Your website is www.devinlistrom.com. Um, let me ask you this.
That's the back of it. Yeah, if they go to when they go on the website and you want to get the book, you can go on, just click on the author tab and scroll down, and you'll see an Amazon link on there. You can get the paperback for on there.
Very
And
cool.
if people want to find my readings and healing work, just click on I think it's the psychic tab on
And what
there.
I think is so cool about that is like you said, you do Reiki by distance, so they don't have to be in your hometown there.
Right.
Um, so I highly recommend everybody to check out your website, learn a little bit more about you. You're a very interesting individual with a great background. Let me ask you this about spirit.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I find it interesting that you have your clients' spirit guides are the ones that come through and speak to you, while your spirit guides are basically just proud of you, got big smiles on their faces, they're leaning back, letting you do
Mm-hmm.
your thing. On today, of all things, I'm reminded of an incident, and I brought this up at the beginning of the show, the 1 October mass shooting that we had here 4 years ago in Vegas. And I'll give a shout out, Vegas strong. That will always be the shout out for um, that event. Now I remember I didn't want to go down right away. I'm a very sensitive person too. I didn't want to go down right away. So it was quite some time after the incident, and I went down to the fairgrounds, if you will, parking lot, whatever, across from Mandalay Bay where the shooting took place. Because I just wanted to light a candle. I wanted to stand there, and anything that approached me that might still be, you know, in distress, spiritually in distress, uh, in a in a in that form, in a spirit form. Wanted to say some prayers, throw out a couple of blessings. The area is too large and it's outdoors to actually smudge. Although I've had uh, indigenous friends of mine say, no, you do it anyway. And if I do go back, I'll probably do a little bit of that. If I can get in there, it's hard to get. At that time when I went, it was hard to get in there. Um, but when I got there and I stood up against this one fence, I kid you not, it was unlike anything I'd ever experienced before. And I've come in contact with a lot of spirit, but I felt literally like I'm standing in front of an extremely crowded elevator, and
Mm-hmm.
all of a sudden the doors opened up, and this crowd just came at me and almost knocked me off my feet.
Wow.
And since I had never experienced that, it was way too emotionally overwhelming for me to handle, and I ended up leaving. Like I said, I haven't been back there since, but I got a very interesting phone call from a young lady that I worked with many, many years ago that lives. I mean, this when I tell you this is a gravel pit, I'm not I'm not paying it justice. This is like a gravel pit that looked like an atomic bomb went off in there. This is a gravel pit that looks like a small version of the Grand Canyon stuck in the middle of the Las Vegas Valley. It's huge. Now, on one side, there's still they got rid of a lot of homes, but I mean, I know that area. The old Spanish Trail went through there. Basically, the Vegas Valley is one giant Indian burial ground. Then you probably have a lot of uh, pioneer deaths in that area. God only knows what was dug up, but the adjacent um, home track that's up against this, and we're talking every single home in this one area. I had people reach out to me and tell me that they're experiencing paranormal activity off the charts. Now, this was another location. Then I got this phone call from a friend who lives in a home by another huge, huge, massive gravel pit. Huge. I've been by there. It's a creepy pit. I don't even like driving down the street. But when I go by there, I get the same feeling. And it's not just people, it's elementals, it's indigenous spirits, it's people spirits, it's malevolent entities, everything. To be honest with you, I just really am having a hard time dealing with that and figuring out uh, how to help this mass haunting.
Mm-hmm.
When I tell you this story, what's your feelings? Have you ever encountered anything like that? Or if you were to encounter something like that, what do you think your game plan would be? Is there a uh, do you have any recommendations on how to clear mass hauntings?
Wow. Um, that's a big one. Well, I would say starting off with talking with the spirits first. Talking with them first. Let them tell their stories. You
I
know.
am only laughing, brother, because it's almost like you can't. Everybody's yelling at you at once. You try to get them to take their turn and come at you one at a time, and then even if you somewhat get some type of control, then you've got the elementals coming at you
Yeah.
doing their thing. You've got some darker, more malevolent, I believe, human spirits, and possibly some demonic ones coming at you from different angles doing their thing. It's honestly, unless you are just a really, and like I said, I'm a sensitive intuitive, but I've never rang the bell and said I'm a psychic medium and all of that sort of stuff, and I can do perform miracles. But it's really overwhelming. So I wondered if someone with your gifts, which I'm sure are probably more intense and more fine tuned than mine are, um, is it dangerous for you to be in a situation like that? Or are you able to get everybody to wait in line and come at you one at a time and break it down that way?
Well, I would have, well, see, I have an empath ability as well. So it, I've been highly, very easily overwhelmed, even just by my more minor cases, because I pick up on the emotions of the spirits as well. Like one case I was on, we were investigating a restaurant. They didn't let us in until 1 a.m. and we're there until about 4:30 in the morning. And I was picking up on a female spirit. I think died in the 1890s
Hmm.
in North Kansas City, and died of tuberculosis, TB. And so I was feeling all of her symptoms from like, oh, 8 or 9 in that evening all the way for the next 2 days, 2 to 3 days. My chest was getting tight. I was feeling panicky. I was coughing really, really hard. I was scared, angry. I felt like my lungs were filling up and I couldn't breathe. And I kept telling this to everybody else, oh, well, this is what's happening. And they said, sounds like tuberculosis. And I said, yeah, it's this. I'm picking up on a woman here. I think died in the 1890s, and she's want me to feel what she felt, basically. And I've had spirits do that before. So if you're a psychic with an empath ability, you're going to be taking on another whole layer of activity going on.
Yeah, it's pretty incredible. I That's another thing you and I have in common. I started seeing spirit when I was very young too, but I stayed in the closet with it for many, many years. Looking back on it, I wish I hadn't, but I did. I What would your advice be? And you too, you had some experiences and you didn't tell anybody for a while. What would you recommend anybody out there that's watching or listening that is experiencing stuff but doesn't want to talk about it with anybody because of fear of ridicule or being accused of being crazy, what type of medication and you're on, need to go see a doctor, ghosts don't exist. What would be your recommendation for them, what they should do? And you can even touch base on parents. I hear from a lot of parents that think they have a psychic child, and you mentioned the show Psychic Kids. Anybody out there that might be falling into that category, what recommendations would you have for them on what their next step should be?
Well, for one, today I think it might be easier to find people who can help, finding professional psychics in their area who can help them learn about their abilities first. If you learn about what kind of ability you have, I think is the first step, and then learning how to manage them with someone who can help you along to manage them. But you don't necessarily have to broadcast all of that to everybody, because once you accept it with yourself, I don't think it's a problem. But
That is very well said. I'm totally on board with that. And I could be wrong here, but this is my theory. I have a lot of theories. Some of them I think are probably crazy, but here's my theory. I do believe that everybody that has encounters with spirits is because they on some level have psychic ability. And some people you tell that to, they freak out. No, no, I just live in a haunted house. Yeah, there's a lot of people that live in haunted houses that never experience anything. I walk in and I know there's spirit there.
yeah,
I look at the family, I know none of them are into that at all, and the spirits are not trying to, scare them and freak them out. So they're
mm,
behaving. And so I don't say anything. But people
yeah,
that are actually experiencing, I believe personally, correct me if you think I'm wrong, but I believe on some level they have psychic ability. And
yeah,
you're right. They need to first learn about where their skill level is at with their gift.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Because I'll tell you, I met a friend of mine at a polarity healing workshop. This was years back. This is also in the book. And she invited me out to her house in Lee Summit. And I had to go into the back door of her house. And the second I hit that door frame, bam, I knew she had spirits in her house. There was a female there who I think was an aunt of hers, I think was murdered. Um, and I think she was there to protect her, this friend of mine that lived there. And there was another relative there in her house who kind of had kind of a green, some green clothing on, and he was covered in mud and dirt, and he was mad that I could see him. He was not happy about it at all, and the whole house was just crazy. And so through the night, we were trying to watch a movie, and I kept feeling them running around the house, especially this guy in the green clothing would stand behind me and try to intimidate me, get me to leave. And I said, I'm not leaving right now. And I didn't say anything to her that first night. I didn't say anything until like a couple days later. And she goes, oh, I know. I went, oh, you knew? Oh, okay. I guess I could have said something. But the other thing is that she had another thing going on in there, I think was a poltergeist. Because I think that people go through a lot of trauma, emotional issues, and you can't contain it anymore. And it meant subconsciously create an entity that is supported by your downward spiraling emotional state. And all the way to you keep feeding it, the more you're going down that spiral. But I would recommend counseling it. But so she started going through counseling and getting herself together, and I think that thing started dissipating after a while. I didn't really sense it much anymore. So that was a really interesting situation there, because we had one in our house when I was growing up. We had to deal with, and I think I've dealt with three of them already. But yeah, um, what was your next question you were going to ask me?
Well, I think it's some people think that are living these really extremely in spirit infested locations, whether it be where there's a lot of levels, like either at one time was a building or a nursing home or a funeral home or a mansion, what have you, and they may have different spirits. I've always found it, and a lot of people think, well, if I could see them all, I can feel them, but if I could see them all, it probably looks like the inside of the haunted mansion ride at Disneyland. But what I found more times than not is they know of each other, but they don't want to intermingle. Like you might have one spirit that's fine staying in the basement, doesn't want to have anything to do with the spirit that's on the first floor, and the spirit on the third floor doesn't want to have anything to do with the other two spirits, and the spirit in the attic is like the one you talked about. He's mad if anybody can see him or mess with him, and he just wants to stay in the spirit. And they all know of each other, but they don't want to intermingle and be ghost buddies. I
Right.
find that so funny. But something I need to ask you before we run out of time. We got about 5 minutes.
Yeah.
These people that reach out to me, that sometimes they say, it took me a while to reach out to you, Rev, because honestly, I found you a little intimidating. Um,
Oh,
I don't think I'm intimidating at all, but I know what they meant by that. They don't mean it as an insult. Um, they're already scared. They're already emotionally hanging on by their fingernails. Um, they're going through a lot. They're trying to wrap their head around the fact that they're gifted and they're experiencing this stuff. So they don't really know what's going to happen if I reach out to a guy like this and tell him my story. Is he going to laugh and say I need to go to a psychiatrist and get on meds? Is he going to understand? What have you? Many. Um, there's a lot of people that aren't like you and I out there that are what's the word I'm looking for? Well, let me just not good, not legit, not who they claim to be.
mhm.
I'll give you an opportunity here in a couple of minutes to rant if you want. This is a rant free zone. How can people be careful that they're not going to reach out to a person that's what I call a paranormal predator, where they're just after the money, they have no gifts, they have no knowledge of the spiritual world, and they're
Yeah.
just going to take these people for their money and give them bad advice. How can they be careful?
Well, for one, I would watch out for people who tend to make a claim. Well, for this much, I can get rid of these spirits for you. I wouldn't fall for that at all. um, Depends on how much they're wanting, kind of thing. I would watch out for people who, let me see, what else could you watch out for? Uh, hmm.
Like for me, it's pretty simple. I always warn people, anybody that tells you they can perform an exorcism online and wants you to send them $500 before they even get together with you on Zoom and perform this exorcism, no. And that's where I draw the line, and I don't, and I have never, being a certified spiritual advisor is different than being an exorcist. That I do charge for. I don't charge for any paranormal work whatsoever. Um, I accept donations, but
Yeah.
you got to be very careful. So that's excellent. If someone's going to be seem to be more concerned about, you know, a fee, and that they are the know it all to end all your troubles.
Mm-hmm.
Because I'm the first one to admit I don't have a clue what I'm doing,
Yeah.
and it's only through the grace of the Holy Spirit that I'm used as a vessel
Yeah.
for them to come through and help,
Yeah.
uh, you know, uh, people with their issues. But I don't know what I'm doing, and I have no secret power. So,
Yeah. I think when you go in on a case, you have to first see what's there, what you're dealing with, and then come up with a plan from there. So you can't put a price tag on that, basically.
well, brother, listen, I don't want us to run out of time and just cut you off.
Oh,
I
okay.
love you. I respect you. You're a cool dude. Um, you were added to the prayer list before we even did the show. Um, so I will continue to pray for you, and pray that all of the good that you try to do is well received by the world, and that your book's a great success. And did you have fun when you come back?
Yeah, absolutely. I think there's
If
a lot
you
of stuff.
talk to Margie before me, and if you see her, give her a hug and a kiss for me. I know that if she's not watching, she'll probably catch the replay and reach out to me and ask me how things went. And I will throw some open dates at you later in the year. There's a lot of other things. I didn't even look at my paper today
Oh,
to see for the questions.
oh,
I let spirit guide with you, especially. I let spirit guide me where where the conversation
absolutely.
should go, and we
Yeah,
talked about whatever and had fun. But I'll have you back for a part two.
absolutely.
Enjoy your Halloween season. Stay blessed, and thank you so much for taking an hour out of your busy Friday to
Yeah.
come and hang out with me. Happy Halloween.
Happy Halloween, and thanks for having me on the show.
God bless you, brother. I'll talk to you soon. Okay.
Bye bye.
Good night, brothers and sisters. Devin Listrom. www.devinlistrom.com. The book, The Doorway to Spirit. Very cool cat. I'd like to talk to him about some do's and don'ts according to him. Do's when you're in this field, big don'ts when you're in this field, some things that we all should be worried about and keep our eyes peeled out for, warning signs, red flags, what have you. But very, very cool cat. I wish him the best. Thank you all very much for tuning in. I don't have a show without all of you. I will be back next Friday, October 8th, with, you all know him, you all love him, Philip Wyatt, elite paranormal investigator, um, and so much more. That's going to be a great interview. That's next Friday. Everybody, thanks to my producer, the lovely, talented, passionate, beautiful Adrian Hart. Thank you to the Paranormal United Network for simulcasting my show there. If you like my show, go there, check out their Facebook Live page. They got a lot of shows there, way better than mine. On that note, guys, just stop the violence, stop the anger. There is power in prayer. Remember, all the bad deeds you do, you're going to have to answer for them one day. So start working every day on trying to be the very best version of yourself that you can be. But love is so important. And like I said, no more anger, no more violence. We got to stop somewhere. Um, Malevolence is moving through mankind right now like a freaking cancer, and we got to do something to fight back. So, on that note, God bless you all. Good night, Jack. Good night, Dog. Good night, Harold. Rest in peace. Good night, Ernie. Good night, Bill. Good night, Dan. God bless you all. I'll be watching. Peace.